Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are taking our very first look at the Yudachi, a brand new premium tier 7 Japanese destroyer. So, without further ado, let's look at our commander. Now, commander is going to be Raizo Tanaka. It is with Jerzy Swirsky and Eric Bay as our two commanders for the extra concealment. Of course, his base trait is increase the torpedo damage. And then we've got Subsurface Venture. We've got Fragile Fleet. We've got Torpedo Safari. We've got Destroyer Be Destroyed. And then we've got Unstoppable. And he is a legendary captain level 3. And he's at tier 6 or rank 16. So, as you can see, I really liked my Japanese destroyers for a little while. Anyway, so now that that's out of the way, let's look at the ship itself. Now, I know that there are no upgrades on here right now. The gameplay you're going to see will have all of these upgrades, and I'll go over them real quick. I just uninstalled them because I forgot I needed to do this video. So, first of all, we've got Aiming Systems Mod 1 is going to be the first one. Then we're going to have Propulsion Mod, I believe, is the second one. Obviously, it's in stock, so they're Propulsion Mod. And then we've got Concealment System Mod 1. And we have our Torpedo Launcher Mod 3. Okay, that's the equipment that we use. And I am using the option for the fast torpedoes. That's what this thing's all about. Now, it only has a torpedo range of 8.1 kilometers with our current build. But they do 80 knots. And if you don't know what I'm saying when I say they do 80 knots, I mean, these things are skimming, they're hydroplaning across the top of the water. Now, that means they get detected a little bit sooner than other torpedoes. But it doesn't matter because they're going so fast that people usually don't have time to get the heck out of the way. And you couple that with the fact that they're only 8.1 kilometers, and somebody's going to have a bad day. Now, if we look at our stats, you'll see, first of all, loadout, we've got our flag. It comes with a permanent camo. We've got 2 smokes, which is a huge thing, because we get a reload booster for the torpedoes, and we get our smokes. So we get both. And we also get our engine boost. So stats, 11,800 hit points. It's not got a lot of health, okay? Actually, I think that might be the lowest amount of health of any of the destroyers, so keep that in mind. You cannot make mistakes in this ship and live to tell about it very often. Okay? Main batteries. We have one 127 millimeter 1x1, and we have two 127 2x2 turrets. Okay, so that's fun. Firing range is 10 kilometers, 7.5 second reload time, which is actually really good for a Japanese destroyer. Usually these reload in like 10 seconds with this torpedo build, so keep that in mind. That's actually pretty good for a Japanese destroyer. Couple with that with their good HE, and other destroyers have to worry, but unfortunately that lack of health does hurt. Of course, 2150 maximum HE shell damage, but it has a 9% chance to set on fire. Now, torpedoes, we have 8 610 millimeter torpedoes. These will blow you up. Believe that. And it don't take very many of them to do it. As you can see, they reload relatively quickly too, at 1 minute and 28 seconds. So 88-second reload, not bad. 120 or 180 degree turn time, 7.2 seconds. That's really quick, obviously. Maximum damage is 22,382 damage. You will know that you've been hit by these things. 610 millimeters, guys. That's ridiculous. Now, they get detected at 1.7 kilometers, and they only have a range of 8.1 kilometers. But the main stat is that speed. 80 knots is disgusting. Okay? If this thing ambushes you, you cannot get out of the way. That's just the way it goes. Like, you almost have to know they're coming before you see them, obviously. But maneuverability, 88, which is 37.1 top speed, which isn't bad. You can get that over 40 with the engine boost, obviously. It's got a 570 meter turning radius, which is not bad, and a 3.2 second rudder shift, which is ridiculous, but I mean, it's a destroyer. Concealment is at 99. Not sure why, if I'm honest. considering this should be better or right there with my Kagero at 4.7. What did... Oh, because we took... Yeah, we took off the concealment mod, dummy, so that's going to change, obviously. Also, these stats are going to change a little bit if you have the equipment installed. I completely forgot we took the equipment off. But yeah, this will be 4.7 with my current setup with the concealment mod. So, very, very stealthy. Okay? Nastily stealthy. And of course, all the other goodies. 2.8 by air, 2 kilometer guaranteed detection, and 2.4 from the smoke. So you will be a ninja anytime you want. Okay? So it is hidden. Good concealment. Obviously, it's a Japanese destroyer. They're invisible, basically. Big yield. Above average torpedo damage. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's like a frickin' nuke hitting you. 22,000 damage. That's more than any battleship in the game can hit you for with a single shell. Just put that into perspective. Even if a battleship citadels you, it cannot hit you as hard as these things can. And these things will basically be most of their damage every single time. So you're gonna die if you take more than a couple of these. And even if you take a couple, you're in bad shape. Pyromanium. Above average chance of HE shells to cause a fire. And the Yudachi, one of the Shiratsuyu? I apologize. Class destroyers tasked with escorting the major forces of the Japanese Navy and delivering torpedo attacks against enemy ships. The ship carried quadruple torpedo tubes, entered 1937, and there were 10 of these things built. So, not a paper ship at all. This thing is a nasty little ship. So, without further ado, and I do like the look of it too. It's pretty good. I like it. I like the look of it a lot. So, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so, without further ado, we're going to get into the Yudachi. Now, I'll be real honest. You guys know I'm not the best destroyer player in the world. But I give her a shot, you know. I know what I need to do. Sometimes making what I can envision happening is kind of the difficult part for me. I got to learn to balance aggression with timing. And that is one thing that I've really need to work on in my destroyer play. Because I tend to be a little too aggressive. And once you get detected, it can be difficult to get away sometimes, especially with all of the radar cruisers out there. You pick the wrong moment and you could be lit up for, you know, up to 30 seconds, and it doesn't take that long to kill you. But anyway, so what do I think of the Yudachi? Well, first of all, it's not your normal Japanese torpedo boat. It could be. I mean, you could throw the regular torpedoes on there and just have 11-kilometer torpedoes, and it'd just be basically a Kagero at that point. But where I think it does better, even though it has less health, I believe, than the Kagero, it has the meme torpedoes, and those meme torpedoes can catch a lot of people off guard, because by the time you detect them, it's too late. It is too late, because they are moving so fast that you just can't get out of the way. Now, that being said, I am going to be in a bit of a pickle on this side of the map. We're going to do our best, but we are not going to necessarily have the best game given the amount of ships that are heading in our direction. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit as we get more and more folks trying to kill us. Now, here I'm trying to read what I think the Hipper will do. And the Hipper doubles back on himself and starts to head towards the left, and he inevitably decides, oh wait, a destroyer just went in and started capturing C. I think I'm going to go into C and try to kill him. Yay. Oh, but he gets absolutely touched on his way in. And you'll see, I kind of take the destroyer role as kind of a, you know, an admiral role. Like, you're the guy out there spotting. You're the guy out there deciding who's the priority targets and stuff. And right now, this Hipper is definitely the priority targets for more than one reason. One, he can kill me very quickly. And two, he's also coming in to detect, or to deny us this cap. And that's not good. We need to keep the cap at all, if at all possible. We don't want any interruptions in us taking this cap, because that allows the enemy to take the lead. Now, we do get the capture right off the bat, and our team is the only ones responsible for that, just due to the fact that if it wasn't for them shooting the Hipper, that Hipper would have sailed straight into the base, we wouldn't have got the cap in time, and he could have potentially ruined our day. Now remember, German ships in particular have very, very good hydroacoustic. They can detect ships at extended ranges. The Hipper, I believe, has a 5-kilometer detection range, and the Bismarck, for sure, has a 6-kilometer detection range on just the hydroacoustic. That ain't radar. So you've got to be very careful around German ships that can use hydroacoustic. Now you can see here, I'm trying to shoot at the Hipper. We get a couple hits there. Not a whole lot of damage done. We were hoping to set a fire maybe, just something to try to get his attention. And then I noticed there's a New Orleans coming in as well, and my team has already put themselves in a position to hit them. So both of the cruisers that have come in here are bad news for me. They can both absolutely wreck me in no time flat. 2 salvos from either of them and I'm dead, generally speaking. So here I'm going to I'm covering my own backside. I'm going to cover my retreat, use the island to put something between me and them, and I'm going to start moving out. I'm going to try to continue spotting here. Now, our cruiser is sitting in open waters, and cruisers, don't do this, guys. You are detected, you're being fired at, you're firing back. This is not going to end well for you. And what I think this is a player who just got the Indianapolis in one of the crates for free, because he has no idea what he's doing. He's sitting broadside on to a bunch of battleships and cruisers that can absolutely rip him apart. And oh, it's a Boise, sorry, not an Indianapolis. But I think the Boise is also something, because I've been seeing it a lot lately. So I don't know if they're giving those away in the crates too. I haven't actually looked into the new crates, but Vladivostok is about to learn what 600-millimeter torpedoes can do to you. 4 hits, and then we get a devastating strike. He was not expecting that, and we absolutely murked him. And there's the corpse of our teammate. Our last teammate that was on this side of the map. Now, I have no choice but to abandon this cap. I can't go in and try to take it on when there's a Hipper and a New Orleans in there, even though they're low health. Oh, did I mention they have a King George with them? Yeah, so they have a King George, a Hipper, a New Orleans. The Vladdy is dead, but there's still a Bismarck out there, I believe, out in the middle of nowhere, even though he turned around and is sailing back towards the base. Now, our battleship has the right idea. He's going into B. Our guys have managed to secure A, so me retreating here is the right play. It doesn't give them an advantage. All it does is say, okay, I am bested in this moment. And this is something I'm not very good at. I'm not very good at disengaging. I don't like to run away from people. But you gotta know when you have no shot. And all you can do at this point is pester them. Keep torpedoes in the water. These torpedoes are extremely fast, and if they aren't paying attention, it is very, very easy to start getting hits. And if you get hits with these, as you can see, King George narrowly avoiding that one, and if you can get hits with these, it's death. Like, these cruisers don't have any health. 1 torpedo, they're done. There's no way they survive a torpedo hit. So all I need is 1 good torpedo, and I can get rid of one of these cruisers. And so disengaging is something that may be looked at from some people as, oh, you're a coward. But you gotta know when you have no chance. They have an Edinburgh there too. So they have an Edinburgh, New Orleans, Hipper, King George V, and that is a lot of bad news for a destroyer. You do not want to be in the middle of getting shot at by all of that. So here you see, instead of trying to pick a particular ship and fire at it, I just go ahead, I give the narrow spread. I never fire widespread, almost ever, because it never works out for me. Our Iowa was sitting broadside to them and absolutely got punished. But just firing all of those torpedoes and a little bit of a spread from one another covers a lot of ground. And this New Orleans is about to find out the hard way that he f***ed up. And down he goes. That's what I'm talking about. Managing to get enough torpedoes in the water that eventually they are caught off guard. And they move so fast. Now, yes, they don't have the range, and, you know, that is something to be said. But I feel like a good player, and, you know, we know that that's not me in a destroyer. I can handle my own in a battleship or even a heavy cruiser, But destroyers are my weakness. It always has been. I'm getting better, but I'm still a long ways to go from saying, hey, I know what I'm doing in destroyers. More often than not, I just wing it and hope for the best. Now, the Atago over there showing me how it should be done. Gets a double strike. So, you gotta love that. But that still leaves a King George V, a Hipper, and, I don't remember what else. Is it the Bismarck? But either way, there's a lot out here. Now, right here, I try to do something to help my team. Now, this Iowa has no health left. I don't know why he decided to re-engage, let alone give his, broadside towards the battleship. But it didn't really matter, because he's not going to survive much longer anyway. A few hits to the superstructure, he'll be in trouble. So what I thought was going to happen was this Edinburgh was going to swing out in front of him and try to torp him. So I tried to fill the gap. I'm like, okay, I'm going to launch these through there, see if I can't catch this Edinburgh not paying attention. He wouldn't be expecting them to come from an Iowa, right? I mean, you're fighting an Iowa. Who in their right mind would expect torpedoes to come from the direction of an Iowa? Unfortunately, my plan does not actually work out. But now that it's much more likely that it's in our favor, we have 68,000 damage done. We've got a devastating strike. We've got 2 kills. We haven't done a lot of damage, but we've at least held our own and managed to hold off long enough for our team to get back here. And now it is all about defending this cap. This is where we draw the line. You do not get this cap. And here's where I start getting brave, and I start realizing I can fire my guns at these guys. And the guns, like I said, fire faster now than they... Oh, God! That's not an Iowa! That's a Baltimore! That is, a lot bigger than it looks when I'm in my Baltimore. Hi, Baltimore. Don't mind me. I'm just the rubber ducky. I'm gonna slip around you. That just goes to show you how small this... Oh, my God! Horrible timing. But we are able to get out of there thanks to our engine boost. Wow, that could have been horrible. Now, we were detected right at the end there, heading this direction. So, one might assume that you would probably not want to come past this island. But in my head, I'm figuring there's a lot of bad guys on the other side of this island. I've got a lot of torpedoes that do a lot of damage. I can take out at least one of these guys, for sure, before they kill me. So I'm going to go ahead, launch the torpedoes, and at this range, that King George has no chance. He has nothing he can really do to avoid this. Unfortunately for us, the team manages to take almost all of his health, right? Because that's the way that works, every freaking time. But we do take him down. He goes down, and that leaves a Tirpitz here, and that Tirpitz is broadside onto the enemy, or broadside onto my team, which is preferable because he is the one spotting me for the Edinburgh, and you can see, even with my propulsion knocked out, I'm trying my best to try to dodge, and you can see it is effective. And now that the Tirpitz is dead, we are alive. And that's the important thing. We managed to survive with no health. I say no health. 2,400 damage when you only had 1,100 or 11,000 to begin with isn't like you're out of health. But still, we've got about 1/5 of our health left, and there is a cruiser that is more than capable of killing us with a single salvo. So we've got to be careful, but at the same time, I'm not about being like super careful. I'm just going to start firing my guns. He's going to be able to see me. He's shooting at me, and you can see I'm assuming that I'll avoid it, and at worst, I get a few hits and he kills me. If I die, it doesn't... Oh my God! What was that, Spartan? You sure? If I die, it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things, because the team is going to kill him. We are going to win this match. So it's all about getting a little bit of extra flair on the stats at this point. And so you can see he is just getting absolutely pounded. Are we going to be able to snipe the kill? Is that... Nope. Never mind. Never mind. They just took that out of the equation. So the Yudachi. What do I think about it? Honestly, it's not a bad ship. It's a nice change from most of the Japanese destroyers. Those meme torpedoes, those super fast, shorter range torpedoes, are a lot of fun to use, and I imagine with somebody who knows what to do with torpedoes, probably going to have a really good time with this ship. So, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.